Hello everyone and welcome to It's About to Get Messy, because guess what? It's about to get messy. Now, I don't know. I feel like this episode we are going to hash out some stuff. There are some unresolved tension and issues between our dearly beloved Sam and Dean that, I feel like, it's boiling up to the surface a bit. Watch, this episode is just gonna be very standalone and just glaze right on over that, but I feel like sooner rather than later we're gonna have some conversations, and it's not gonna be pleasant. But it is going to probably be necessary, if we want the two brothers kind of working together going forward and understanding each other a little bit better. But you know what? I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens and what's really going to come up when all of this stuff does boil to the surface. Anyway, let's get into it. Ooh, sir, you're going to get smushed by your car.
Grab me a cold one, would you?
Why don't you have Sarah Alcott get it for you?
Oh. What?
Oh my God! Oh, no. No, ma'am. Oh! High blood splatter person. They treating you well? Yeah. Okay.
What's up? How about because you haven't said a word to me since Prince Island? And now what? You want me to shut up and ride shotgun and act like nothing happened?
You want to talk about Betty?
Oh. Okay, let's talk.
How about he's a vampire?
He's also the reason I'm topside and not roasting our spit in purgatory. Anything else?
And what about my friend, Amy? She was what? Because you sure as hell didn't have a problem ganking her.
Well, I guess people change, don't they? We let that werewolf cake go, didn't we?
She was different.
Whew.
You think Benny's different? He tell you he's not drinking live blood or something? Okay. No, you're right. People do change.
Yeah, I got a vampire buddy, and you turn your phone off for a year.
Damn.
Don't turn this on me.
Okay. I mean, it's a decent first step. Getting some of the grievances out.
So, guy's old lady comes home while he's working underneath his ride, puts the pedal to the metal, takes half his head off. And that's it.
Ooh.
FBI.
Yep.
Happened to be in the neighborhood.
First a Texas Ranger, now you guys?
Texas Ranger?
Yes, sir. Right over there.
There he is.
You gotta be kidding me.
Ah! Yes. Oh my God. I am so
Chuck
obsessed.
Norris.
Sam? Dean!
Thought he was a hugger.
Come here!
All right, okay. I'm still working here.
You guys have no idea how much I miss you.
Excuse us, would you?
Yeah, we'll be right back. And don't get bit. No, it won't turn you, but it will hurt like hell. Okay, so once you got all that, nail that sucker in, bury him, and throw away the key.
Wow.
Okay?
And since when is giving advice your job?
Hold up. You the new Bobby?
You shut your mouth.
Yes.
You shut your What?
Bobby was gone, you two were MIA. It was a weird time. Somebody had to step in and take up the slack.
Oh my God. Icon.
Let's just get back to work and we'll talk about this later, all right?
Don't just tell us what to do.
He did.
Scott
He
Luke?
did. If anybody's gonna replace Bobby, he's the one. He is the one.
I think I found something.
Ooh!
Is that gum or is that ectoplasm?
Ectoplasm is usually black, right?
Oh, why would you
Definitely
taste it?
ectoplasm. Thanks, Doc. Asked the coroner to drop me a line in case the autopsy turned up anything unusual. And guess what? Our dead guy had the word Alcott carved into his chest. Coroner's best guess? His wife Mary's fingernails.
Mrs. Lou, can you tell us what happened?
And the next thing I know, my son Scott
finds me in the driveway.
Does the word Alcott mean anything to you?
What does she have to do with anything?
It's a she.
My husband Chester and I were going steady in high school for a few years already when we had a big fight.
What about?
It was around prom, and so he took Sarah Alcott as his date instead of me.
So this Sarah Alcott was a rival for your husband's affections?
Sarah had one night with him, whereas I was with Chester for 37 years.
Well, maybe you're holding on to that.
What are you talking about? You heard her. Alcott's alive.
Well, we're definitely going to want to talk to her.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Did we eat yet?
What's up with all the hillbilly Aggies? These people know the Civil War's over, right?
That's a touchy subject around these parts. See, Missouri was a border state. Half the men were Confederate, the other half were the Union.
How'd you know all this?
Went to college.
You went to college?
Yeah. College and on to dental school.
Well, you were a dentist?
Yeah, just like a hot minute. Where'd you think I got my first case?
Let me guess.
Oh no.
I'm really sorry. If there's anything, I mean anything that I can do, just ask, man. Please.
Oh no!
Get me my money back.
So it's something that may be like, oh, clutch bladder person. Hi. Did a good job. It may be somebody like something that's making them hold on to old grudges or act on old grudges or something like that.
Is that Bobby's head?
Oh yeah, sure is. We worked a Rougarou case together a few years back. He left it in my car, so I kept it as a memento. What are you doing?
That's not how you wear it. Gentlemen, surveillance is
Oh my
up.
goodness.
Must be the camera.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm here about Chester Lou.
Oh, yes. It's so sad.
It is.
I thought that Chester and I were going to be hot and heavy, but it just wasn't meant to be. And a week later, he eloped with Mary.
Easy there, flyweight. Last time you drank a beer, I had to pick you up off the floor.
You're such an idiot.
Okay.
Idjit's supposed to be used angrily. Okay, not happy.
None of my business, but does this have anything to do with you and Sam?
You had it right, it's none of your business.
Okay.
All right.
You got.
We're fine.
All right. Just letting you know that I'm here for you, for anything.
Oh my goodness.
I know sometimes Bobby, he would.
You're not Bobby. Okay? You're never gonna be Bobby. So stop.
Bobby belonged to all of us, Dean. Not just you and Sam. I'm just taking what he showed me and trying to do something with it. That's all.
Oh my god, Garth. Oh my god. No. I don't want to cry. I don't want to. Garth. Oh my god. That really got me.
Finds out whatever betrayals you're feeling and forces you to act on them.
Uh-huh.
How we hunt these things?
See, the idea was they took a faceless, nameless soldier they couldn't identify, and they buried him here to commemorate all the soldiers who died.
You learn that in college?
Nope, Civil War reenactments. Once a year, every year.
Oh my god. He is just
Okay.
something else.
And go.
Whoa. Check out this hardware. Do you guys know how much this is worth?
Yeah, but why open it up if you're not gonna take anything?
We won.
That's mine. Hey, look.
Huh. Oh boy. Oh no.
Why don't you write your own report, Sheriff?
We need you to focus, Deputy. Other lives depend on it. Tell me what happened after you shot the sheriff.
I think Carl tackled me and I asked him what happened.
And?
He didn't answer me. He just took my gun and walked away.
Did he say where he was going?
I guess I must have heard him too. He said he was going to the hospital.
If you ever need to talk, I just want to let you know that I'm here. About anything. You know, life, Dean, you.
I'm okay. Thanks.
It just seems like you and Dean are talking, but nobody's listening to each other. I had this cousin once. Well, he's gone now. But his name was Frank.
Love you, Garth.
I don't need you looking at me the way they all... like that.
Wait, you think this is pity? It helps me understand.
How messed up I am? You think I don't know that? You don't have to feel sorry for me, Sam.
Sweetie,
I didn't
sweetie.
mean like that. We were just hoping maybe a theory or two had been floated around over the years, something local, maybe.
There is one.
Holy moly, that scared me.
What the hell are you doing? What are you doing? Why am I gonna make mustard from your brainstem? I don't know.
Looks like you're shooting blanks.
That tickled.
Oh! My goodness!
Wait, so two brothers fought on opposite sides of the Civil War?
Legend has it that Vance swore vengeance on his brother with his dying breath. Years later, consumed by guilt, no doubt, the corporal dug his brother up where he buried him on the battlefield and brought him home.
Oh boy.
He's unfinished business. Thanks to you.
Oh! Thought he was gonna kiss him for a
Spectre
second.
likes you. Here, have a taste.
Oh no. Oh no, he's gonna...
Got it. Dean, hey, there was a string on the floor of the tomb. It used to hold an old penny.
He's gonna
That's
go
the
after
object.
Sam.
What the hell, man? We went to the hospital. You're not answering your phone.
Yep.
Should have looked for me when I was in purgatory.
Yep. You know, when I said we were gonna hash some things out, this is not what I had in mind. You know what I mean? Just, oh boy.
You never even wanted this life.
Wow.
Always blamed me for pulling you back into it. What do you want me to say? That I made mistakes? I've made mistakes, Dean.
That's not Dean, Sam.
Shut up! Well, let's go through some of Sammy's greatest hits.
What? Whoa.
Drinking
Okay.
demon blood. Check. Being in cahoots with Ruby? Not telling me that you lost your soul? Or how about running around with Samuel for a whole year, letting me think that you were dead while you were doing all kinds of crazy? I never once left you to die. And for what? A girl? You left me to die for a girl?
He won't kill me. His beef isn't with me. You're not gonna shoot me, are you, Dean?
Move.
You've been protecting me your whole life. Don't stop now.
Oh my god, Garth.
I don't know. I wasn't there, but I'm sure he had his reasons.
Just like you had your reasons for Benny.
Who?
Benny's been more than you've ever been.
Wow.
That's right.
Man, you gotta fight this thing. Do not do this. Just let it go.
Goodbye, Sam.
Oh!
God!
Garth, don't!
It's cool. It's all good. I'm cool.
That Benny didn't jack you like everyone else. I mean,
What, he doesn't have any grudges?
He took it, he's young and innocent, but everyone at some point in their life feels like they've been screwed.
Not me, man. I let all that stuff go with the help of my yogi, my psychogenesis. And you should too. Now,
Wow.
now you know what's coming next, right? Come on.
Come on!
Yeah, okay.
I love you so much, Garth. It's crazy. It's crazy. There we go. There we go.
Keep on trucking, Garth.
Wendigo? You got a flare gun?
I'm so
No?
obsessed with him.
What about a flamethrower?
Boss!
Oh boy. All right. Let's get messy.
You want to talk about it?
Last night?
No, Dean, you pervert.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Oh.
Do you want to talk about Don? Hey, I'd like that too.
Sammy!
Man, I don't even remember what I said, but
Oh, what? You didn't mean it? Oh, please. You and I both know you didn't need that penny to say those things.
Sam.
Own up to your crap, Dean. I told you from the jump where I was coming from. Why I didn't look for you. But you had secrets. You had Benny. And you got on your high and mighty, and you've been kicking me ever since you got back. So move on, or I will.
Wow.
Okay. I hear you.
Good.
Okay. Okay.
I just might be that hunter that runs into Benny one day and ices him.
Oh.
I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, won't we?
Yeah. Yeah, you keep saying that.
Wow, there is a lot to unpack here. Okay. Okay, well, there's a few things that I definitely want to talk about. I actually liked this episode as, you know, messy as I thought it was going to be and messy as it got. Well, first, Garth makes everything better. He does. And if, you know what, he is such a, in my opinion, great replacement for the Bobby role. Nobody can replace Bobby, obviously, but he kind of being sort of connected to a bunch of different hunters and helping them out. I actually really love that for him. He's very supportive. He's got a lot of insights that for not just what they're fighting, but kind of, you know, everything else that goes on. And I really love seeing Garth. Well, okay, before I get into that, what I love about this so far, and particularly highlighted in this episode, Sam, Dean, and Garth have all been through a lot. Now, I'm sure it's, you know, some people would love to play the game of who's been through more and who, you know, whatever, and they pin it all against each other, whatever. I'm not really here to do that. I think leading a hunter's life and going through what they're going through, they have all been through a bit. And what I love about this, it's going to sound, well, I guess it doesn't sound weird, but they're showing that people deal with trauma and pain and loss and hurt and betrayal. Everybody deals with it differently. Everybody deals with it differently. And no, it's not always pleasant. It's not always nice. Like, I actually really like that they're doing this, particularly with their, you know, two main characters, you know, that have a lot of support and a lot of love in the fandom and stuff. And there's an interesting look at how they're coping differently. Now that they've always kind of, I feel like, touched on this subject a bit, but they're really getting into it, was how Sam reacted after Dean went missing, or, you know, he lost Dean. The, you know, I don't even want to say ideal, because what is ideal when you're dealing with loss and grief and all of that stuff. But how he, he probably has some regrets, obviously not looking for him. I don't think he's happy with himself, right? In this scenario. But he sort of, for all intents and purposes, he ran away. He tried to he was lost and wandering, and he clung on to Amelia, who was also in that kind of state. And it's funny, a lot of times when we watch shows like this, and it's interesting to sort of say, well, I wouldn't do that in that situation or whatever, which may be true. But I think that there's also an element of, like, you don't really know what you're going to do in such a situation until you're in such a situation, you know what I mean? And Dean going through what he went through, which is very different and horrible and fighting. And again, whenever I talk about Dean and his mental state, I need to put a big asterisk on it and say, I don't know what happened with Cass. I don't know what I don't know. So I feel like I will get a lot more context and insight into how Dean is coping with stuff once I actually realize what he's dealing with, particularly when it comes to Cass. I know that he was, fighting for a long time and in purgatory and all of that stuff, but I think there's a missing piece to the puzzle. I just want to say that real quick. There's a lot of resentment and betrayal, and I get it. I mean, it's to think that Sam in that, wasn't looking for him. That has got to build up a lot of resentment. It's got to build up a lot of anger within Dean. And it kind of came out in this episode. And I pretty much knew that he was going to go right after Sam once he got infected, or whatever you want to call it. Because I as much as Dean a lot of times avoids subjects, but as much as maybe it hasn't been completely stated or fleshed out completely, he has voiced his annoyance with it, but we really haven't gotten into it. He has to be tremendously hurt and betrayed that Sam didn't look for him. Didn't even try. And I knew that that's where that was going to go. And there's this feeling of feeling betrayed by Sam and feeling betrayed by a lot of people. And maybe it is that Benny is the one that, he hasn't fucked me over. And clinging on to that might be what Dean needs to do right now, even if it kind of goes against a lot of what he believed beforehand. It's really interesting, but what I love is there's certain, aspects to, I feel like, both of the brothers when dealing with all of this messiness that I keep talking about. That, yeah, it's not perfect. It's not ideal. Sometimes the way they communicate isn't ideal, or, that I'm not going to pick apart every little thing, but it's interesting because, nobody's perfect when dealing with this. And the other thing that I wanted to say, I really liked this episode because of this whole aspect of it. Garth, we have seen, he was taken aback by losing Bobby. And I actually like the fact that he had this moment with Dean. And, I think Garth understands that maybe Sam and Dean had a different type of relationship with Bobby and stuff, but that doesn't mean that Bobby didn't mean anything to Garth. And, I understand why Dean was a bit protective, a bit, even when Garth said, like, idiot, I was like, oh, I don't know. But I think Garth is really just trying to honor Bobby. And I love that he spoke his piece. I love it. You tell him. But I think it was really interesting to see what would happen. I think Garth has maybe suffered a bit. He is a hunter. He's been through a lot. I think he's lost a lot. I don't think we know the full picture. I don't think everything is roses and daisies for Garth. I think he's learned how to try to channel that and cope in his own way. And that's not a statement against Sam and Dean, because personally, I think both Sam and Dean, they don't have the breathing room, in my opinion, to figure out how to cope in a healthier way. You know what I mean? Like, it's like always one thing right after the other, completely. And I actually I liked that there was a spotlight on all of that in this episode, that everybody deals with things very, very differently. And everybody's own personal experiences shapes how they deal with stuff and their reactions. The way that Dean is reacting to Sam not looking for him, and the way that Sam is also trying to cope with the fact that he didn't look for Dean, and what happens when you feel alone and you feel like there's no one there. And I don't know, for me, I just really liked the focus on all of that in this episode specifically. Another example, Amelia, and I gotta say, I actually liked her a lot more in this episode than others. I didn't dislike her, I guess, but just the fact that I just felt like I could relate a little bit more to her within this episode. I actually could, it was funny when she was talking about everybody giving her pity, and her kind of projecting that onto Sam and saying that you're going to give me pity too, and I don't want that, and da-da-da. It's kind of a weird defense mechanism that, like, I feel like I've had in my life before with personal relationships. I'm just gonna talk about me for a second, but I felt like I could relate to it a little bit. I don't let my guard down with, like, many people. I'm very selective. And if I ever think that, like, somebody's pitying me or judging me or anything like that, I get real defensive real quick. And I try not to, and I try to stop myself from that. But for some reason, I think it's because I just, the close relationships that I have, I put a lot of weight into, because I'm fairly selective about who I'm vulnerable with. And I could kind of relate, and not in a great way. I was like, oh God, like, I feel like I sometimes do that, and I, sort of don't, I kind of, like, assume people are judging me when they're really not. Like, that happens. a bit in my life. But I love that they explored that. You know, she's going through heavy trauma as well, and she's, you know, maybe not reacting in the best way to, you know, Sam honestly just having a genuine interest in her, and she's like, oh, you pity me, you know, like, and I actually like that throughout this entire episode we're kind of looking into everybody coping with stuff in very, very different ways, and how that's kind of just how it happens. I don't know. I really like that. Anyway, I've rambled on for way, way, way too long, and I'm, you know, whenever I get into this kind of deep, how we're coping with trauma type of stuff, I feel like most of the time I don't make much sense, but hopefully some of that made sense. Yeah, so I did enjoy it. Anyway, if you would like to support me on Patreon or subscribe, I would really appreciate it. But if not, I'm just happy that you are here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.